People always ask, what does plywood cost? I think the best way to do this is just put them out here in terms of like most expensive all the way to cheapest. I'll run you guys through it and you guys can see where things slot into the main picture here. SBB, birch ply. So that's probably the top of the pops, the most expensive, all right? Prices range on, depending on what thickness you buy, obviously that affects your price, but you expect to pay the most for this kind of plywood. Then you get your BB, birch, probably your next most expensive, and then marine ply. So these three here, I would say, are possibly your premium plies. And these are the guys that you're gonna spend a bit more money on, but they're absolutely worth it. Remember that a sheet of plywood is, it's 2.4 by 1.2 meters. And in fact, some of the stuff as a specialist size, I mean, Universal bring the stuff in at 3 meters by 1.5 meters. I mean, that's quite a big thing. So if you want to get maximum yield out of a sheet, you can ask for sheets of plywood that are 3 meters by 1.5 meters. And that's a pretty big deal, especially when you're trying to get as much out of a plywood sheet as possible. So that's a cool thing. Okay, so ask for that stuff because it's out there, it's available. Right, so you can get this stuff in those sizes. But these are the three things that you definitely want to know. Cost more, you want to be able to use these for the right kinds of products. So that's cool. Then let's come down here and we've got our Akumi ply, our lightwood ply. These are much better value in terms of you paying slightly less for it, but you can use this in applications where it's not necessary to go completely over the top. So this is like down the middle stuff, really clever to use for stuff where you don't want to spend time staining and messing with stuff. I think that this is a time saver product. So these guys here, all about quality. These are here for me, they're a bit about time saving. They're about using products that allow you to move on with a project much faster and not have to worry about finish and staining quite as much. Okay, then let's go down to this stuff. Now, it's not really fair to call this stuff cheap and cheerful because the fact is that it's actually pretty good. The idea here is that this stuff is your baseline good pine plywood product. Now, you get pine ply and you get pine ply, just like everything. So this stuff here is B and BB grade. So it's good stuff, but it's much better value because it's made out of pine. Now, let's go to the very, very bottom of the spectrum. And we got this stuff called green edge ply, or sometimes referred to as shutter ply and stuff like that. Now, let's not be ply racists because, you can't be rude about this stuff just because it's cheaper ply, okay? This stuff is as good for its application as any of these other plies, but it's for an application. It's for shutter ply, it's for using it for basic things, formwork, making boxes and frames for pouring concrete, or it's for basic bottoms of things or backing of things or stuff like that. So you can use the stuff in loads and loads of very creative ways. I've got to be honest with you, the stuff in my workshop, I use this stuff for all my cabinets in the workshop because they're workshop cabinets. No one cares about what they look like. They just have to be functional and they have to work and they have to last. So I use this stuff for that. And some of this stuff, I mean, we're talking like real good value prices here. So from this side all the way to that side and everything in between, you can get from Universal. These guys are experts at what they do. They've got every single kind of plywood under the sun. They bring in some of the most unique products in the country. Have a look at their website, check them out, and you'll find that you won't believe what you can discover with these guys. If you'd like to find out even more about plywood and how it's best used and all that, speak to the experts, speak to the guys at Universal Ply. Check out their website in the link below. Give them a call, speak to them, ask them all the questions you want to ask. These guys know their stuff. So check out their link and we'll see you guys back here next time.